We're looking at units of measure, measures of lengths, weights and capacity, the different types of units of these lengths, weights and capacity, and how to convert between them and how to problem solving using these conversions. So first of all, we're going to look at measuring length. So millimeters, centimeters, meters and kilometers, and how to convert between these when we understand the differences. A metre is our standard unit of length, so approximately the distance from the tip of your nose to the end of an outstretched arm. Millimetre, the length of that, can think of that as the tip of a pencil. Centimetre, approximately the length of your pinky nail. And a kilometre, the length of 10 football pitches. So just to give you some idea of the perspective of these lengths of measure. So in numbers then, 1 metre is 100 centimetres. Centi meaning 100. 1 centimetre is 10 millimetres. 1 kilometre is 1,000 metres. And 1 metre we can express in millimetres, it's 1,000 millimetres. If there's 10 millimetres in 1 centimetre and then 100 centimetres in a metre, then that gives you 1,000 millimetres in total. Okay, so a way of converting between these, going from kilometres to metres to centimetres down to millimetres, so starting with the biggest down to the smallest. To convert from kilometres into metres, we would multiply by 1,000 because there's 1,000 metres in 1 kilometre. From metres into centimetres, we'd multiply by 100, and centimetres into millimetres, we'd multiply by 10. And we'd do the opposite on the way back, so dividing by 10 to change from millimetres into centimetres, and so on. So it's a useful way to help you with these conversions to start with until you get into the way of it. So let's look at a few examples of these. So 3 centimetres to convert into millimetres, we say we times that by 10, so 3 times 10, 30 millimetres. So it's 30 millimetres in 3 centimetres. Another example, 66 millimetres to go back the way into centimetres, we divide by 10 because there's 10 millimetres in 1 centimetre, so that would be 6.6 centimetres. For metres and centimetres, 2 metres, there's 100 centimetre in each of those metres, so 2 times the 100 is 200 centimetres, and the opposite of that is 450 centimetres. If we want to convert that into metres, then we have to divide by 100 how many hundreds go in, how many 100 centimetres go into that, so it's 4.5. So the same process, it doesn't matter about the decimals or whole numbers, it's the same process as multiply, divide, and it's just what that unit of measure is, whether it's 10, 100 or 1,000. So for metres and kilometres, if we have 4.35 kilometres and we want to express that in metres, then there's 1,000 metres in every kilometre, so times by 1,000 to get 4,350 metres. And going the opposite way, we have 5,800 metres, so dividing by 1,000 for every 1,000 metres is 1 kilometre to get 5.8 kilometres for that 5,800 metres. Okay, so let's look at weight next. So the 4 different units that we are going to be looking at are milligrams, grams, kilograms and a tonne. Okay, so our gram is our basic measure of weight, and we could think about the weight of a small grape would be approximately a gram. Milligram is very, very small weights. There's 1,000 milligrams in a gram. Kilogram, approximately, are the weight of a bag of sugar, and there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram, and a tonne is 1,000 kilograms, so very big weights. So we can see that in terms of our actual numbers. So 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. There's 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. There's then 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram, and 1,000 kilogram for every tonne. Okay, so the thousands, very important here for these, and we can look at that process in terms of our tons of our largest weight down to our milligram of our smallest weight. And each time to go from each unit of measure, we're multiplying by 1000, and to go back to we were dividing by 1000. Okay, so if we look at a few examples again, so 3 grams, if there's 1000 milligrams for every gram, then multiply by 1000 to get 3000 milligrams. And back the way to convert from milligrams into grams, then we need to divide by 1000. So for this one, for instance, 450 milligrams, well, that's less than 1 full gram because it would need to be 1000. So we're expecting an answer that's less than 1. So divide by 1000 to get 0.45 grams. For kilograms into grams, again, it's 1000 grams in every kilogram. So times by 1000 to get 2600 grams. And divide to go back the other way. So 75 grams divided by 1000 to express in kilograms is 0.075 kilograms. So just important to understand where these different units of measurement are coming from. Capacity, we are thinking about liquid and gas volume essentially. So milliliter and litre and centiliter. Now, the difference between volume and capacity is that volume is the amount of space taken up by an object, whereas capacity is how much it fills, the object's ability to hold something like liquid gas or solid. And we can convert between what we think of as volume as solid volume into liquid volume. It is more our capacity. So that's the way that we are going to approach it. So for our capacity, for our sort of liquid volume, we've got 1 litre is 1000 millilitres. Or we could express litres in centilitres. 1 litre is 100 centilitres. So we've got milli meaning thousandths and centi meaning hundredths. So that's where that terminology comes from. And we can also convert from that capacity to solid volume. 1 millilitre we can express as 1 cubic centimetre, which means we can actually convert from cubic centimetres to millilitres to litres as well. If we think about a litre is 1000 millilitres, and that is 1000 cubic centimetres. It's a 1-for-1 ratio there from millilitres to cubic centimetres. Okay, so some problems involving measurements. Now, it's very important then when we solve any problems with measurement that we're working in the same unit of measure to solve problems. And that won't always be the case. You won't always be given things in the same unit of measure. So it's important to be able to convert to solve any problems. So if we look at our first example, we want to find the total length of 2.8 metres, 76 millimetres and 45 centimetres. Now we can't just add these 3 values, these 3 numbers together because they're not expressed in the same unit. So we've got metres, we've got millimetres, we've got centimetres. So what we're going to do is convert the 2.8 metres and the 76 millimetres into centimetres. And that's the most sensible one to convert in. Centimetres is a line in the middle of both of those, so it's easy to convert the other 2 into centimetres. And then we can find the total length. So 2.8 metres first of all. There's 100 centimetres for every metre, so we're timesing, we're multiplying by 100 to get 280 centimetres. And then 76 millimetres, well, there's 10 millimetres for every centimetre, so we're going to divide by 10 to get 7.6 centimetres. And then we can add these 3 values now. So 280 plus our 7.6 plus our 45 is 332.6 centimetres. So we can only do that, that totalling, that adding, once everything is expressed in the same unit. Now, I chose centimetres. You can choose to express them all as metres or all as millimetres, but centimetres was probably the most sensible one. Sometimes a question will lead you to convert to a certain unit. It'll maybe say give your answer in centimetres, and that'll give you that clue about which one to convert them to. But actually, in essence, as long as they're all in the same unit, then you'll be able to do that sum. Okay, a second example. We have a bottle of juice holds 1.5 litres. 3 glasses containing 330 millilitres are poured from the bottle. So how much juice is left in the bottle? So it's a little bit of a problem to solve here. Now, the first thing we need to address is the fact that the capacity is expressed for the full bottle in litres. However, the glasses that are poured are in millilitres. So I'm going to convert my litres into millilitres and then work from there. So the bottle of juice is 1.5 litres. We're going to multiply that by 1,000 because there's 1,000 millilitres in 1 litre to get 1,500 millilitres. So our millilitres then, we've got our 3 glasses of 330 millilitres, which is 990 millilitres, and we subtract our 990 from 1,500 to get 510 millilitres. So that's how much juice is left in the bottle, 510 millilitres of juice. Just watch for that slight typo, that should say millilitres there. Third example, a bottle of medicine contains 180 millilitres. The instructions say take 2 times 5 millilitres 3 times per day. How long will the medicine last? Now we're okay here. We're given the total amount in the bottle in millilitres, and we're given our instructions in millilitres, so there's no conversion. It's just looking to solve this problem of how long will it last. So the first thing we need to think about is for each day how much of the medicine is used, and then look at how many days that will last. So for 1 day, for each time taken, 5 millilitres is 2 times 5, which is 10 millilitres. 3 times a day, times that by 3 to get 30 millilitres each day. So how many 30 millilitres are there in 180 millilitres will tell us how many days that lasts. And the easiest way to do that is just using our calculators and divide. 180 divided by 30 gives us 6 days. So the medicine will last for 6 days. Okay, so that's just a few examples of different types of problem solving using unit conversion. And what I'd say is make sure, very, very important, that you are working in the same unit before you start solving your problem. You must make sure that is the case.